Yes, I'd like that, but at least have to look up. Y'all want to?
Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I don't put the mic in yet because whenever, first of all, we're gonna start off with some Choctaw hymns. So I ask you guys to bring some Choctaw hymns if you have it, because I think we might start classes with one or two songs. So I'm gonna sing a song, I guess, that I'm familiar with, which some of you might not be familiar with, but some of you might be familiar with. So I think it's one of my favorite songs. And that's Choctaw Hymn 120. So before we get started, I'm gonna sing a song. But if anybody else wants to sing a song after this, we'll have time for another song. But if not, then we can get into the lesson. So you guys have your inputs ready or your apps ready? Mm-hmm. So we sing 1 and 2.
face, please.
46.
Y'all both see face.
The Jesus, that one or love leads the way. Is it the other one? I was going to do the basement. 46. No, I guess did you want love leads the way or Jesus?
That one.
Okay, let's do that one. All right, everybody get your cards. Hey. Jesus. Turn this on so they can hear better. I gotta do it again. All right. So halito, hachimachugma, achugma. So that was fun. I guess I haven't sang Choctaw hymns for a while. So, well, I have sang some, but I haven't really sang in a group like this. So it's nice to come back and sing the songs again. So I don't have a phrase for you guys today because I wanted to do the Choctaw hymn singing. So I think I might want to do that one or two every time we have class. So it'll be nice and fun. So this one's a hard one. Halito. Who can tell me what that means? Hello. Yeah. No. Halito means hello. Hey. All right. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into the lesson today. So I provided you guys worksheets for this. Does everybody have one? Do you not have one? Well, that means you're Salaha. Hey. This is my last one. We can just share it real quick. All right, so today we're going to learn about some more pronouns. Yippee, more pronouns. So up until this point, we've kind of learned which pronouns have we been learning. Those are like you, me, or stuff like that. We, ish, and Lee. Yeah. So first we got Lee. So which one is that one? I. It means I. And then we got ish, which obviously we know as what? You. Not chukma. You. Okay? And so how do we use these? Does anybody remember how to use these? Lee goes behind the sentence, okay? Yeah. And ish goes before, okay? And so we're going to learn, I got some examples on here for your paper, but yeah, so if we wanted to say, I am speaking, then we would say, anumpa, or anumpule, excuse me, anumpule. So what is that saying right there? Anumpule. To speak, okay? So what do we have to do to it in order to make it saying, I'm speaking? Ha? Anumpule le, yeah. Why can't we just say anumpule? Because it just means to speak, or we'll get into it later. It means he or she is speaking. But we want to say I'm speaking, so that's why we add the li. So anumpale le. Remember, a lot of times learners will try to say chata anumpa anumpale. They hear that li and they automatically assume it's me. But really what they're saying is he or she is speaking Choctaw. So make sure you have that li in there. And then so if you wanted to say you are speaking Choctaw, or you are speaking, how would you say that? Ish anumpale. So I'm gonna put it up here. Ish anumpale. Oh. So that's how we say, you are speaking, and then I am speaking. And so that's kind of one of our first words is anumpuli. So we got ish and li kind of down. And so we'll leave them up here. Li and then ish. So if you look at your papers, we also have hush, which means be quiet in English. Hey. But in Choctaw, that means you all. You all. You all. Or it could be you, plural. Because sometimes in English we say, are you going? And you're just talking about to a few people or something like that. It's weird how we do that in English, but in Choctaw, it won't work like that. Because if you say, Ishanon paleho, like, are you speaking? You're only talking to one person. But if you say, hush, anon pole, that means you are all speaking. So right now, if you guys were all talking and just having a good old conversation, then I would say, hush, anon pole, you guys are all talking. So, anon pole de sa. Hey. So what did I just say there? Quit talking, yeah. So hush. Hush means you all. And so the next one I have is ill and e. So we have, if you read on the bottom of the paper, it says we have two ways that we can say we and we all. In the Choctaw language, ill and e, but how to use them is simple. We use ill if the word that comes after it starts with a vowel. So ill. Which one of these words, anumpali, pisa, ikkana, and taloa, starts with a vowel? Anumpali, okay? So, anumpule. It's a good thing we started with that, huh? Hey. So just like it says, we use ill, this one right here. We use ill if the word comes after, or if the word after it starts with a vowel. I can't even get my words right. I can better explain it without the paper. So this word here starts with a vowel. Vowel is A. So vowels are what in English? A, E, I, O, U. So those are vowels in English. In Choctaw, we learned very early on that our vowels are A, upsilon, underline A, E, I, underline I, O, U, underline O. And so they're all three different vowels, but in three different variations. And so I don't want to nasalize that. And so this word, like I said, starts with a vowel. And so we're going to use, let me write this. So ill and E both mean we. So who wants to give that a shot to say that? Illa non pulle. Okay? So let's try to say that. Illa non pulle. Illa non pulle. Illa non pulle. Okay? So what does that mean? We are speaking. Yeah, we are speaking. Okay? And so let me just go ahead and erase this. Cool. I didn't mean to erase all of it, but. Nope, not what I'm looking for. Nope. There it is. Okay, so the next statement there is we use E, this one right here, we use E if the word that comes before it starts with a consonant. So what is a consonant in English? Anything that's not a vowel. Very simple and easy to put. So yeah, so like T, C, B, F, S, all of those are vowels. I know we're going back to basic English grammar, but sometimes people don't understand what certain things are, so I want to make sure everybody understands. So I'm not saying these things to undermine your intelligence or anything like that. It's just I need to explain it just in case somebody does. I mean, somebody might not know. But yeah, so we use E if the word that comes before it starts with a consonant. So which one of these words, our vocab words, starts with a consonant? Pisa, okay? Okay, what does pisa mean? To look, yeah, or to see in some cases. And so, would we use ill for pisa or would we use E? E, because what's the rule? E, you'd use E with a consonant and use ill with a vowel, okay? So yeah, if we want to say we are looking, we say E pisa, or E pisa. E pisa. So let's try to say that. E pisa. E pisa. E pisa. Achugma. Yeah. E pisa. So we are looking. And so this is very straightforward, but sometimes this trips people up. But the only thing I say is let's look at the next vocab word. Which is everybody's favorite word. Ikkana. Ikkana. So which one does this mean? What does this mean? To learn. So what's the word that means to know? Ikkana. Yeah, you guys are good. Make sure you say ikkana. And so, I don't know why I wrote it right there, but so, like I said, the rules are there to help you with your pronunciation and your speaking of the sentence. And so, a lot of times in Choctaw, it wants to go like this, like a wave kind of. So you want to like make it go flowy. So if you have breaks in there, sometimes
it's kind of mushy, and so it doesn't sound right. So the reason why we have this is because if we say oops, wrong one. If we say it kind of sounds off, right? It kind of sounds a little off. I'm trying to figure out where I need to position myself. So a lot of times that's why like the vowels really don't like to be together, because it's like it sounds weird for the vowels to be together. And so ikana, it's kind of like you have to like force it. And so to help with the flow, that's why we say ilikana, ilikana. It's almost like it helps with the flow of the sound. So that's why a lot of times we use il for vowels and e for consonants. Okay? Does that make sense? So if we got taloa there without looking at your paper, or actually let me use a different verb. How about to buy? Does anybody know what to buy is? Like to chumpa, okay? So how would you say we are buying it? Or we are buying? I chumpa. Chuma. What about if I gave you a new word like, let's see, iya? What does that mean? To go. So how do you say we are going? Ilia, okay? Yeah, like I said, that has a specific rule to it where sometimes you could say ilithkuli, or most of the time you're supposed to say ilithkuli, I guess. But you can say Ilia also. And so that's perfectly fine. Some speakers will say Ilia, but technical proper way, you would have to say ilithkuli, which ithkoli is just another word for to go, but it means plural. So ia is one person going. Itiachi means two people going, and then ithkoli means three or more people going. But that's neither here or there. So il and e, very simple and easy. Yes.
So if you're saying you're going somewhere, would the word that you're going to come after or before?
You would say it before. So the actions always come at the very end. And so the places that you're going, the things that you're buying, or things that you're talking about or whatnot, even songs that you're singing, all that information goes in front. And so what I mean by that is like if we're saying like, if we're going somewhere, you got the word ia, but then you got ilia. So he asked the question, where do I put like the place that you want to go? You always put it in front, because that information always goes front. And like I said, the action, what's happening, or who's doing it, always goes at the end of the sentence. Does that make sense? Okay. And so anytime you have that kind of scenario, then you always put that information up front, and then the action goes towards the back. And so if we go back to chompa, chompa, we are buying. How do you say we are buying books? Books is holiso. Holiso chompa. Yeah. So that purchasing item that you're having goes in front of the sentence, and then your action goes towards the back. Holiso chompa. We are buying books. Anyways, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. So the next one we're going to look at is one that doesn't get talked about too much because it really doesn't get used a whole lot. Illo and hijo. Illo and hijo. And so if you kind of see, if we take the O off and we take the ho off, what do we get? Il and E. So we can tell that's we still. But this one is we all. We all. So you remember back whenever we talked about like, let's all stand up. So how would you say that? Huwakaya. Huwakaya. And so if you see, it's just E plus hu. But then what is this one? So a lot of the rules are based on vowel consonant rules. And so we say ho, like we can say ho chumpa, which means they're all buying it or something like that. And so everybody's buying something. Ho chumpa. But where we would use o is if we use like oikana, oikana. That means everybody is learning. Everybody is learning. So based off of that, we just take o and we turn it into we all. And then same thing with o, we put it on ill because vowel consonant rules. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not losing anybody. This you don't really have to worry about, but you'll see this a lot in Choctaw hymn singing like we just did. So I don't know if you know that song that goes, let's see. Aba pinchi toka kayat oele kostinichi. So it's talking about everybody. O ili kostinichi, which kostinichi kind of means to like discipline, or, and I can't remember the other word, but that's the one I use. Discipline. And ili, like not illy, ili means to do unto oneself. And so, illi costanici, self, but it's talking about o illi costanici, everybody discipline yourselves, which a lot of people translate that line as in repent, repent. And so, haba pinchi toka kayat o illi, that's where that comes from. O, because we can't say, we can say ho illi, but it sounds better if you say oili. But that's a little more information than we need to look at. So illo, go back to the main thing. Illo and iho. Like I said, this one doesn't actually get used a whole lot because it's, I even put it here. The rule is the same for illo and iho, but the pronouns are not used quite as often because il and e will work in most cases in everyday conversation. So if you want to say we are buying something, ichompa, nana ichompa, or you can say we're going, ilithkole, or ilia, or let's say we're talking. We're like I'm talking about all of us. We're talking. Ilanopoli. That'll work like that. Now I think a lot of times it's kind of that same rule of like if I say we are talking, ilanopoli, but then I can say if all of us are talking in this room, then I can say illo anopoli. We can say that because everybody's in the conversation. But a lot of times ill and e can just be used for everyday conversation. Am I getting too far? Does that make sense? Okay. And the last thing I want to talk about is, I'm going to write this in English. He, she, and it. So these pronouns right here, we don't have a pronoun for them. So we call them, oops, I don't know what that is. It. Anyways, so we call it unmarked. So unmarked just means like